Off the Field with the HBC, presented by Chick-fil-A. Visit our locations on Forest Drive and Two Notch Road for your tailgate feast. And by James W. Smith Real Estate at the beach. Ask about the Gamecock off-season special.
You know, Coach, I saw your piece with David Faraday, and, you've been with, you've done all these interviews. Is that doubled, tripled the request to do those kind of things over the last few years?
I think it's an honor that they want to do one of those type interviews, sort of talk about your coaching career, your family, and sort of what you're all about. And I've always enjoyed watching David Faraday and the guys he interviews for his shows. He did one with Lou Holtz, and so he does a lot of football coaches. I think he's got one with Nick Saban that's already been done. So it was fun to do. It took all day, but he's a nice guy, and we were able to really sort of showcase my kids and grandkids and so forth.
How about the chip shot you made, though? That was pretty cool.
He got a kick out of that. He taught me how to hit that little ball that goes up there, skips, and it comes to a dead stop. And I sort of skinned the one that I hit, but it went right in the hole. He really got a kick out of that.
Did he help you with your game at all?
Oh, just that little chip shot was mainly it.
Coach, you were talking about the other day about the fans and how great they were the other day. Are you constantly amazed how consistent the Gamecock fans here are at Williams-Brice?
Yeah, I mentioned to Steve Fink, our sports information director, the fans were sensational again. The UCF game, we sort of stunk it up the first half. Nothing good was happening. And they hung in there with us and kept yelling and screaming. And fortunately, the third quarter was probably our best quarter of the year. We scored 3 touchdowns. We got 2 turnovers. T.J. Holloman got 2 interceptions. And that sort of turned the complete game around, and we were able to sort of run out the clock in the fourth quarter. So the fans have been super. We've only had 2 home games, and they've really been outstanding.
Coach, you said you made the comment that you didn't think you called a particularly good game against North Carolina. Do you go back and look at film and say, in a particular play where maybe I should have called this play? How do you do all of that?
Yeah, Glenn, a lot of times when maybe your offense is not as strong as it is some years, the coach has to take part of the blame if it doesn't go anywhere. So I've always tried to take part of the blame that, could have called a better game and so forth. But we are a little different this year. We don't have quite the receivers, and our quarterbacks have not played much at all, although Lorenzo Nunez was, I thought, sensational the other day against UCF, and he actually threw the ball better in the game than he usually throws in practice. So maybe he's a gamer. Maybe he plays better when the game starts, and that's why as coaches you always got to give guys a chance. Practice field's one thing. It's important, don't get me wrong, but it's not everything. Some of them can play when the lights are on, people are in the stands. So we're hoping Nunez is that type of player.
Speaking of dual threat quarterbacks, it's hard not to go back when you think about Missouri to that game 2 years ago, the Connor Shaw game that everybody likes to call. Is that as crazy of a game as you've ever been a part of?
Well, that was certainly a wonderful win. And, of course, the game here was a wonderful loss, a tough loss for us in the fact we had a 13-point lead and couldn't hold it the last 4.5 minutes. But, the game out there was one of those that, as a coach, I didn't know we'd won until it was completely over. I never thought we were going to win. But we got into overtime. We made some 4th down conversions, and it just worked out. Elliott Fry made his field goal, and their guy clanked it off the upright, and somehow or another we won that. But you got to give Missouri credit. All they had to do is lose one more game, and we'd won the division that year. And they went 7-1. In conference play and won the Eastern Division again. So those guys have been tough.
Coach, are you seeing some improvement? Was this last game a signal to you that you're getting better in some areas?
Well, we hope so. We hope we've improved. Certainly UCF is not an SEC team this year. They've been very good in the past. They've won their conference championship, I think, the last couple of years. But they're having a year that all of a sudden they're playing a bunch of freshmen. All of a sudden some key injuries have happened for them. And their talent's down a little bit, especially on offense. Their defense is pretty tough. We didn't really run the ball up and down the field much until the fourth quarter. We finally got some yards there running in the fourth quarter.
Big win for your Blue Devils this past weekend. Did you see any of that?
Beating Georgia Tech?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They've played tough. They got a good, strong team. They play defense up there and run the ball. So they're a strong team. They'll probably be in contention for their division. The ACC is sort of lopsided. You know, most of the good teams are on one side.
Yeah.
Clemson and FSU and I think Louisville and so forth. So I think Duke's got a shot at that other side.
Rain, when it rains as much as we're having here, does that really mess with your plans for the week in terms of practice?
Well, it doesn't anymore. We got the new indoor facility right there. The other Monday night, we were out and a little rainstorm came through, so we just walked in the indoor and practiced normally as we would if we were outside. So, yeah, facilities here now are as good as any in the country, I think. And South Carolina football, we should be in good shape for a long, long time.
Coach, you know, Missouri's obviously a long way out there. When you're traveling out there, there's certain things you read, certain things you listen to when you're on the plane. You know, what are kind of some of your rituals?
Oh, I bring some newspapers, USA Today. I usually get it and try to research it a little bit more thoroughly, I guess, when we have plane rides. And you go over your game plan, try to get the ball plays familiar in your mind and so forth. But other than that, we just do probably what most teams do and try to get our guys concentrating on the game, but not too uptight or not too loose. We tell them, you know, be normal, but let's don't have a lot of laughing and giggling. You know, we got a big battle coming up the next day. Let's get prepared to play the best we can.
Is it tough for a noon kickoff when you're on the road?
Glenn, I tell you what, I think we all like those noon kickoffs. You get back home at a decent hour and doesn't kill all day Sunday like if we get home at 3 or 4 in the morning. I mean, Sunday's a tough day to start getting ready for the next opponent. So when you wake up and go play, I think our team likes that. We have no control, but we've got 3 in a row. We got Missouri this week, and then the LSU game's going to be at 12 noon here the next week. So hopefully we can keep doing well on the 12 o'clock game.
Coach, I'm looking here at this picture right here, you know, with Jordan Spieth obviously won it. You know, how impressive of a year has Jordan Spieth had? I know you got to meet him earlier this year.
Yeah, Under Armour has their annual reunion up at Baltimore, and Jamie Spronis, our director of operation, goes. So here's me and Jamie Spronis and Spieth. I called it the 3 SP boys right here. And Jordan played a hole with all the coaches up there. And he was a fun guy to be around. We talked a little bit about Texas football, and he's a big football fan. But man, what a year he's had in golf. He's Player of the Year, 2 majors, won the big tournament last week. But he's really a humble, nice young man, family oriented, and he's got his priorities definitely in order.
And he fits well in the Under Armour scheme of things and the family sort of thing that they do.
Oh, it was a wonderful move by Kevin Plank, the owner of Under Armour, to go get Jordan. Oh, he got him at the beginning of this year, I think, and of course he signed a nice contract. In fact, we were kidding up there. The Northwestern basketball coach played a few holes with us, and I told Kevin Plank, I said, basketball coach here wants that same deal you gave Jordan Spieth. And Chris Collins, in fact, who it was. Chris played basketball at Duke when Steve Jr. was there, so they knew each other. But yeah, Jordan Spieth, he's a class young man, and gosh, can he putt his ball. Secret of winning in golf is getting it in the hole, and he can chip and putt, I think, the best of all of them.
I think as good as I've ever seen.
Yep.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, man.
Off the Field with the HBC was presented by Chick-fil-A. Visit our locations on Forest Drive and Two Notch Road for your tailgate feast. And by James W. Smith Real Estate at the Beach. Ask about the Gamecock off-season special.